Hi guys, welcome back to another Sorare video. I know it's been probably nearly 2 weeks since the last one, I guess, with the internationals and stuff. I'm pretty sure I just didn't win anything of note that was worth opening, so we'll go back the last couple of weeks. Yeah, so that was the game week that we last done a video on. So I didn't. This week I wasn't around, so I put in a selected target one, but um, put it in like days before the deadline. So I didn't really do anything at all that deadline or that game week. And then last game week is this game week that I'm doing a video on now. So yeah, so it's only been I suppose a couple of game weeks. So today's one we have a quick roundup through the lineups. Didn't do too bad again. Um, I didn't think this was going to be our best fixtures for a lot of teams, but we've done all right. Our Tottenham team, unfortunately, didn't keep the clean sheet. Keep the clean sheet. It's probably a big boost playing double defender, but it is what it is. Wasn't to be as usual. Tottenham not keeping a clean sheet, but we did get $40 and a 5-star box, and we didn't pick the right captain. We didn't get a clean sheet. Overall, pretty good. It's a low-scoring week in the Premier League this week for sure. Um, our second team, these are both in Div 1. Our second team, I had Pickford with a clean sheet coming into the Man City game on the Sunday, and I remember saying to my mate, "I've I think I've got a good chance. I've got high hopes of this one." And no joke, every week that I say, "Oh, I've got a promising lineup," the lineup dies like instantly. Whether it be I've got a lineup where I've got the goalkeeper playing, it's 75, 80 minutes in, or whether it be the goalkeeper hasn't even kicked off yet, and it'll be 10 minutes in, he's 3-0 down. Like I just know how to bock a lineup. Um, but as it was to the Man City guys, got the right captain, Guardiola with his 100, brilliant. Foden coming off the bench getting the assist was nice because he wasn't playing. But Kovacic just done okay, and Haaland not getting a goal against Wolves was a bit of a shame. But didn't know he even had a shot on target. Yeah, he didn't even have a shot. Like so kind of disappointing, really. But as it was, still got 14th because, as I say, low scoring game week in general. But that's kind of another one of those what ifs and what could have beens. In that, like this one was what 40 points off a winning, 27 off a second. Um, and again, same with this one, not far off. So normally, I play Son in every one of these lineups, but because it was a West Ham game, Son's first proper game back from injury, I bottled it and was like, Haaland against Wolves. I know it's away, but Haaland against Wolves is surely just a better fixture. And again, that's the what ifs. Had I have done that, yeah, we win the division, but what if? What if someone else would have changed something in their lineup? So you can't really count too much on that. Next lineup, again, no clean sheet for Tottenham. Bentancur, I expected to start, didn't. He started Basuma instead, and if I knew Basuma was starting, I'd have played Basuma. Basuma scores a goal. Yeah, it's just about typical, really. That is what it is. And then on to the classic Prems. Again, same kind of story, really. Just boxes along the way. Like, an okay performance, but Trent didn't do great. Romero didn't do amazing. Even Sons was only, what, a 69. It's not quite enough, really, to get yourself over the line. Not far off of a card, but like it's just not quite there good enough, even in a low division. But we do get like a couple of them promoted. Um, but yeah, so on to the Bundesliga. And again, Bundesliga is another one of those ones that didn't quite materialise how I'd liked it, really. So our main lineup, Kobel doesn't keep another clean sheet. Um, Beginning to come a habit, really. But Schlotterbeck put in a good performance, so that at least counteracts that a bit. Kane with his hat trick, Kimmich with an assist, and there was one shot in the game that Kane took, that the ball was coming to Elise, Kane took it, and then Kane put it over the bar. And I was sitting there kind of, not screaming at the TV, but like thinking, oh, just leave it to Elise. Elise's in a perfect position to just slot it in and improve your score even better. So that's what So Rare does to you. It kind of it makes you look at games and go, oh, God's sake, why didn't you do that? Or why didn't you leave this? Or why didn't you leave that for this person? When, let's face it, Harry Kane, I think it was about 9 yards out from goal. Like, Harry Kane takes that 99 times out of 100, and 99 times out of 100 he probably scores. So, like, it is what it is. Yeah, again, second lineup, got promoted, didn't do terrible. For some reason, I've been really struggling in these Bundesliga ones to actually get promoted. Um, like, it doesn't help. Like, I've had some awkward fixtures, and I don't have enough of certain positions to kind of rotate how I would like. So, like, again here, like, I've got Nubel, Mittelstadt, but they were away to Bayern. So, like, I kind of knew when I put this lineup in that, yeah, it's probably just a dead lineup. But you never know. Like, I could have put one of the classic goalkeepers in, but again, like, I didn't have great options in defence that I was confident in. So I don't really want to be getting any more cards now, but I might have to dip into the market, maybe. I don't know. We'll see how the next fixtures play out over the next few weeks. But yeah, overall, again, some more boxes. So what's that, 9 from 9 on boxes, which pretty good. I'll take that all week. And then I'll make it 10 from 10. Because we are 1, 2, no, it can't be 9 from 9. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 10 from 10 for boxes. Again, same thing with this one. We went with just the Bayern team. Elise not getting a goal is probably the difference from getting up towards the cards, but realistically, again, bad captain choice. I'm never expecting too much from this lineup because it tends to be the lesser cards. Okay, there's Kane in it and there's Elise in it this week, but normally, like, Kane is more than likely going to be in one of these lineups. Like, Kane could easily have been in this lineup, to be fair. But again, I didn't want to put Kane in this lineup because Kane would have been against Noble, so it was kind of a weird game week, really. Down into Champion, we had a solid result with our rares. That a couple of these guys I've had for now for like well over a year, and I got them for under 23s. Don't really do much but under 23s for me. But the price has crashed on them so hard that I'm just going to persevere with them. Like, they're young enough, they all play in top league, so why not just kind of progress? Like, the only thing I did pick up was I picked up an Agbadu to go with Diouf. But yeah, he started really well with Barcola getting his 100. Cherky got his goal. Dada played okay, and it come to the Reims game, and I hadn't noticed it had kicked off, and I just looked across at flash scores, and I'm like, 1-0 down. There goes my clean sheet. Like, and it was like a goal down, like, relatively early. And then I was like, oh, let me load up So Rare and just at least have a look how bad it's getting on. And then I noticed that Diouf had got a penalty save. I was like, oh, well, that's all right. In that someone doesn't concede 3, like, there's me decisive. Which obviously didn't concede 3. It was 2-1 in the end. But it's just a shame if Agbadu could have got a little bit more. Like, we could have been right up there in that. I suppose we were 40 points off a tier 2, so that's maybe harsh to say that. But yeah, he's kind of, again, wrong captain choice. Probably the worst scoring. Yeah, 51. So the worst scoring player. But again, captain the right person, it's still only another 25, so we'd have still been a bit short. But yeah, if only we could have got a bit more. But we have got a tier 3. Tier 3 rare. Hopefully it's someone usable. It's in Champion, so hopefully it's something that might work for what we've got. Champion in season Division 1. Again, I went with Kramaric as captain against Bochum, and he just put in a 60 with 4 big chances missed. That you're like, that's a what could have been to lose 20 AA to big chance misses, and you get 1 goal. It was a bit of a shame, really. But again, with Agbadu not getting an amazing score, I don't think I'd have ever been right up the top, but it could have been better, shall we say. Like, we're probably about the threshold of where we could have been, the 20s and 30s range. In that, once you start getting up here, 80 points to get an extra 80 points in this lineup, like you need Agbadu to do a lot better, and you need Kramaric to score 100. So yeah, not too disappointing. We've probably finished in about the right kind of position, but again, 5-star box and $20. So the first of our lineups that didn't get a box was this one. So Stack, I'm pretty sure it was Stack come off the, was it? No, it was Grealish that come off early. Romero, again, okay performance. Oblak didn't keep the clean sheet. Like, Palmer didn't score. Just kind of one of those lineups of meh, nothing really goes right for it. But more importantly, we stayed in the division. We didn't get relegated. So there's always next week. As we come down, this was our, seems wrong to call it the throwaway lineup, but like the lineup that, like, I was expecting some rotation for Leverkusen, so I was concerned as to where to put those guys. Again, with Saka, I wasn't 100% certain he was going to play or not play, so that was kind of like an afterthought lineup more than anything. But yeah, lucky it's Division 4, so it takes a lot to get relegated out of Division 4. But we're miles off a box, and it is what it is. So on to Classic again. Pretty much of a muchness, nothing really, no outstanding scores like in either of those two. Down into Challenger. Again, this is another nearly moment, really. Mignolet give away a penalty, and that was the only goal that they conceded. And it was a bit of a soft penalty. Like, Onyedika passed the ball back to Mignolet, but it was really, really short. And the striker kind of runs into Mignolet more than anything and then falls over. It's kind of a bit of a harsh penalty, but it is what it is, I guess. But unfortunately, yeah, he not keeping a clean sheet kind of hurts Mekela, hurts De Kuiper, and hurts himself. And we were, what, 12 points away from $50, which would have been really nice. So again, it's not a lot off of getting the reasonable prizes that we could have got. And again, even wrong captain choice. If I captain Messi, then yeah, it's the big difference. But again, I didn't want to captain Messi because it was the last game of the season. I wasn't 100% certain he was going to start. Whereas at least I knew De Kuiper would. And again, in order for Bruce to do well, De Kuiper generally has to score. So it's kind of is what it is with that. Again, second lineup, we've got a box. Sara, it's a weird one. Since he's gone to Galatasaray, he's got games where he scores well, and he's got games where he just doesn't really do a lot. Whereas I'm used to him from when he was at Norwich, and he was amazing at Norwich, like consistently high score. Obviously, complete difference in class from the Championship to playing for Galatasaray, but I kind of expected in the team like Galatasaray that's going to dominate that he'd do a lot better than he has done. But maybe it's just a bedding in, and maybe towards the end of the season he might improve a bit more. But yeah, again, penalty save from Gillespie, goal from Vanaken with the right captain was enough to get us a box. Not much more, but again, not far out from considering like only 2 decisives in the team. Like, could have been. It's another one of those could have been games. Was that 35 and then? Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I suppose the goalkeeper makes such a big difference. Then on to Classic. Again, the Blake Wagner. I thought with them being at home to Cincinnati having nothing to play for and Philly needing to win, I thought that's a really good matchup. And again, not great. Bit of a shame that had they have done a little bit more, like it's wasted 100 from Messi and a 90 or whatever it is, 78 from Ricky Pooch. Bit of a shame, but again, 4-star box. But we could have been getting towards good cards had Blake and Wagner actually performed well. We're getting this one relegated because we had 2 players didn't play. One of which I chose as captain, so that shows how good I am this week. But again, with the other three scores, they weren't getting anything anyway. Harry will have another good game, but Zach Steffen being rotated didn't help. But lucky enough, we didn't get relegated with that one. And then down into our limited, again, same kind of scenario with Blake and Wagner. Even Jedson didn't do a lot this week. But it's got a box. That's the main thing. It's stayed up. It's crept into the box. Again, another lineup with the Bruges guys. This time it's with Icardi that had a good game. Just didn't quite do enough to get over the line into the cash. Again, 16 points, not a lot. Could have been there. Then on to the Besiktas guys with Messi. Now Besiktas hadn't played, and Messi had scored his 100, so I'm like, oh, I've got a chance here. And then I didn't watch the game. I see the result was 2-0, and I thought to myself, well, that means I've got a clean sheet for Mert. But then I see Rafa has scored as well, and it was like, well, now I've got a real chance here. Unfortunately, Jedson and Svensson not doing a lot. Rafa's not really got any AA, and it's like you ended up with a box, and you think to yourself, well, that's a bit of a shame. That's another one of those what could have been lineups. First of the classics. Again, Galatasaray clean sheet, 3-0, with Messi scoring 150. Just again, could Sara have got a little bit more? But we have got a tier 3 and a 5-star box. Again, we can't complain too much. But again, it's not too far away from that next little level that, yeah, more what could have been, I suppose. The other Div 1 lineup, we had Puig, Messi, Evander, Blake Wagner. I captained Wagner. In hindsight, I definitely shouldn't have captained Wagner, in that Puig and Messi would be higher priority picks than him. But again, it was just not certainty that they were going to play the full game, and versus, like, I knew Wagner was going to be there. I knew it was going to be an important game. But just not to be with a 4-star box again. What could have been, really, but it wasn't to be. And then our Div 2 lineup got relegated because everyone just scored poorly. Like, when no one scores a 40, did Mekele get 40? 42. When 42 is your highest scoring player, yeah, you're in trouble. Into contender again, I don't think there was much to write home about in contender either. We got a 5-er. No clean sheet from Armani, but Diaz got a solid enough AA. Okay performance in Attic without getting a decisive. So yeah, it's not a terrible lineup there. This one was kind of annoying. So I have the Hamburg defensive stack. Moorheim got 2 assists, gives away a penalty, which is their only goal they concede, so that ruins their clean sheet. And Shono got sent off. And you're like, and yet you're only 24 points away from a box, and you think to yourself, well, if you didn't kick people and you didn't kick people, maybe we'd do okay. So, yeah, unfortunately, that was a bit of a shame. But it's one you can laugh at, I suppose. With the Korean guys, clean sheet and a double defender's not bad, but Seoul lost 1-0, so only a box in the end from that. Yeah, nothing to write home about with the classic versions, like some DMPs kind of let it down. But again, this tends to be the scraps of what's left more than anything. That I do kind of sort out my gallery a little bit on stuff like this, but it's just having the time to want to sift through. Well, there's so many different leagues and so many different cards. I'm like, well, this one could be good in an okay fixture and stuff like that. That sometimes I spend 10 minutes looking at, oh, I could get rid of this, I could change that, and blah blah blah. And after about half an hour, I'm like, oh, it's contender, I don't really care, which is a really bad attitude to have. But sometimes it's like when you're trying to find information on like the Argentinian league, it's horrendous. When you're trying to find out some information on like Spanish Division 2, you're like, yeah, this is rough. That you like the information sources just aren't there like there are with other leagues. But yeah, so then down into under 23, Um, we're getting our rare team relegated because of 2 DMPs, which is a shame because we've wasted another Lewis Miller decisive. He doesn't get enough of them, and yet he's had a couple in a couple of weeks now. Our Div 1 team got relegated as well because other than Senny Lamans, everyone else just didn't score very well, and we're 9 points away from safety, which is really frustrating to lose a Div 1 team because everyone just played poorly. Yeah, bit of a shame that one. Div 2 team, again, nothing really going on. I can assist from McGlynn, but we're miles away from rewards. And then the last team, this was the team that I had so much hope in and just did not materialise. So Bart scored his 100, Onyedika got an assist, and I think Nico Williams had got his assist, and I'm like, well, I've got 2 players to play. I woke up on a Sunday to see Nathan Harriel had scored a good score, and it just come down to Andreu, and he'd been scoring really well recently, and I've done the worst thing is I started to look at, well, where could I get, like, oh, if he has just an okay game, I'll probably get a tier 2, or if he gets a decisive, maybe I'm up into the Div 1 and star, like tier 1s and stars. And of course that's the worst thing you can do, because as soon as you do that, he then puts in a 36. Concedes 2, commits a foul, doesn't get a double-double. Like, no AA really to speak of. You're like, yeah, unfortunately, we managed to block it. But we did get a tier 3. It's one of them that disappointing, but also it's still another card. So you should always be happy with that. In the trainings, I don't think we left anything behind that was that good. Like Cucho, I purposely left him out because I expected rotation. Steve Clark, last man tackle, maybe we could have had him somewhere, have been of use, but again, nothing too great. And then in warm up, Casper Schmeichel didn't keep a clean sheet. And again, I don't pay enough attention to warm up. I just kind of go like, oh, who's like the guys who got a good matchup? Yeah, that'll do. Yeah. So overall, use Sorare's new feature. This game week we got 23 boxes, 3 cards, and $150 in cash. With the cards being a tier 3 rare and 2 limited tier 3 rares as well. Got 9 promotions and 4 relegations. So overall, pretty good roundup. Happy with that. So we'll get round to opening the cards because we're waffling on as usual. So let's open up the cash and the cards, and so we know we've got 150 in, or $150 in cash. So let's finish off opening those bits, and then we'll get round to the tier 3s. But we're doing well for boxes still. We're up to probably like, I don't know, we'll have a look after this and we're up to. So we've got a tier 3 limited. I kind of rushed into that one. German midfielder from Utrecht, Can Bosdogan. I don't know him, so we'll check him out afterwards. But that was in our under 23, so at least he's under 23. Challenger Classic. So again, we could get an MLS guy here. We might get a European. So let's have a look. Is it Ghana defender from Fenerbahce? Alexander Jiku. I vaguely remember seeing his name on a team sheet recently. So either he's a rotation piece or maybe he does get a game or 2. So we'll have a look at him as well in a second. And then this is our champion tier 3 rare. So hopefully, I'm hoping a midfielder and hopefully someone who plays that could be of use. So I'm a little bit short on midfielders. So let's see what we get. Spain, goalkeeper. PSG, backup goalkeeper. Not what I was hoping for, unfortunately. Yeah. Bit of a shame, but we'll go through them other 2 cards in a second as well. So, what's it say we're at rewards? So we've got 73 boxes built up so far, so that's not too bad. So, let's have a look. Can Bosdogan He's got a couple of goal and assist, a couple of decisive. Didn't play last week, which is a little annoying. Been subbed in a few times, so he looks kind of a bit like a rotation player, maybe. Yeah, I mean it's a tier 3 for £1. Not great, not terrible, I guess. Maybe with the right matchup, he could be of use. Alexander Jiku, he has been playing. Like, he missed out a couple of games, but he has been playing. And did he play? Again, he played a fair bit towards the end of last season. He scored some nice scores towards the end of last season. A lot of last man tackles there. Not a lot so far this season, but again, with the right matchup, like it's only £1, but the right matchup, maybe you like. And again, I'm gonna get midweek utility out of him, so maybe he can be of use in the right spots. And then obviously the backup goalkeeper. Yeah, unfortunately he played. No, he didn't play. He played the Olympics for Spain. I remember him. But yes, he's actually third choice goalkeeper at PSG because they've got. God dear. Savinov was the one that was filling in when Donnarumma was injured. Yeah, so even worse than just the backup goalkeeper, we've got the third choice goalkeeper. Not great, that one. There's no Olympics to get matches on. Probably doesn't go out on loan, even though he's 23. Would have been nice if he'd have gone out on loan, but because he's getting the odd performance here and there, and like he had a few games towards the end of the. Well, it's only a couple of games actually, because this is where the Euro started. Yeah, could be better. Hopefully he gets a loan move or something like that, and then boost him up. If not, you're looking at between 20 to 30. Yeah, maybe we sell. I don't know. We're going to keep an eye on it. See whether or not he's actually getting on the bench more often or not than Safanov, to see whether or not he's the backup or the third choice. But yeah, overall, not a bad result really. With 3 cards, and the $150 is the important bit. So we'll update the spreadsheet for our results for October. Obviously, October being again another goddamn internationals ruining the good game weeks. But I'm pretty sure again we've had another solid game week, or another solid few game weeks now. Hopefully we finish out the rest of October quite well. Like, I've got some promise. I don't think I've done too great last night's games. Other than a clean sheet for Noble, I suppose that's a solid. But yeah, other than that, I don't think there was anything promising from what I've seen so far. And Laporte scored 100 in an All-Star, but I didn't captain him. Yeah, and Emi Martinez got a clean sheet as well. So we've got small little bits of promise, nothing too amazing. But more what there is to hope is the following game week. I'm pretty sure this game week, like, I've got some really good like Premier League matchups. Like Tottenham away to Palace. A Palace who's really bad form. There's reasonable. Man City at home to Southampton is another good fixture for me. Emi Martinez at home to Bournemouth should be another good fixture. And I think more importantly, like, Arsenal are playing Liverpool. I've not got many Arsenal or Liverpool players, so that should mean that, like, my other guys have far better matchups. And the same with Chelsea against Newcastle. Like, both Chelsea, Newcastle, Arsenal, and Liverpool all getting like rough fixtures should mean that the likes of Haaland and Son are like the premium picks this weekend. Annoyingly, Man United have got West Ham, so Man United could do well, but yeah, more importantly, I've got some good key matchups for some of my guys. Hopefully, we get a few guys back off injuries soon as well. Like, be nice if KDB gets back soon. I could do with a real premium midfielder instead of having to use Kovacic all the time. But yeah, some real good fixture opportunities. So I've not to say I fancy that, but I do fancy my Premier League options. And I think even the Bundesliga ones, I'm pretty sure I've got like a good some good fixtures. Yeah, like Kobel away to Augsburg, Bayern away to Bochum. Like that's two fixtures where the top guys could really do well. Stuttgart at home to Holstein Kiel. Like again, there should be a really good fixture. Um, so there's promise there. And you never know. Let's hope. But I'm going to wrap up for this video because I've been waffling now for half an hour. So uh, I'll catch you on the next one, which will hopefully be going over rewards. If not, we will get the results of October 1. Hopefully we'll get it out close to the end of October, or sorry, close to the start of November. Work dependent. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.